right. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning somewhere out there in the world. Bienvenidos. Welcome, welcome. Yes, it's been a minute. I know. Did you guys miss me? I miss being on here, but let me just say that I needed some time off because I have been moving, shaking and baking, grooving and moving. And so we have a special guest today on the Face of a Hero. We have not forgotten about you all. Some of you may be waiting on this show every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, I brought a powerhouse this evening that many times people that do some amazing things behind the scenes don't get enough of gratitude or showing that we appreciate all that they do in the community for the community. And of course, it could be a hero or a shero. We're talking about a woman or a man, right? And I've introduced you quite a few heroes in the community, in the region, and other states. We're going to be bringing other people from other states, and I'm just putting things together in perspective. I don't have my co-host Agustin, so I am writing solo, and let's share this information. You may learn some things from her, and some may say, "Oh, she sounds like me," or you know what? I'm so thankful that she's doing this because now I've learned something. Now I don't feel like I'm left out or I'm alone on this. So, without further ado, I'm gonna bring up this beautiful woman of God, beautiful sister. She is like family to me and love her dearly. And that's not the reason why I'm bringing her on this platform, is because of all the amazing things that she does. And I consider her a hero. So let me bring her up to the stage. Hola, good evening. I
Hola,
can't
hola,
hear you.
buenas
There we go. Okay.
tardes. Hello there, Miss E.V.E. How are you?
Oh, I am blessed and highly favored, and I am
Good,
more blessed to
good.
have you here on the Face of a Hero. Thank you for making time out of your very busy, busy, busy schedule. Something that we both have in common is we're on the road a lot.
We're just always on the go, right? Always on the go. And please, no need to
Always,
thank me.
always
Wherever
on the
we
go and on
enter,
the
that's
road.
where we
So,
go, right?
you know what? You go, I can't say we go with the flow. We go where the need is, right?
That is so true, so true, so
Yeah.
true.
So I wanted to bring this to bring you to this platform to shine as the face of a hero, Elenita. I call her Elenita, but her name is Elena Luna Magallanes. And so many people may have seen her out there, may not know what she's doing, or may not even heard of who she is, because I know that this is the World Wide Web. We got people watching
Small,
from all different states and possibly
yeah,
all, other countries as well.
right, right,
So
right.
Elena, introduce yourself. We need to know who you are as a person, as a mom, as a wife, as a powerhouse, as
Sure.
a woman of God. I mean, all of the above. And then we're going to get to your heart. So tell
Yeah,
us
most
who you are.
definitely.
Who are you? Who is
Sure,
Elena?
sure, sure. Well, I guess initially my gut instinct is to say, well, what hat am I wearing right now? So when you say, who am I? It really is all encompassing. I am really made up of a little bit of everything that I care about. And so, most importantly, God first and foremost, right? And so, I'm a daughter of the Most High King. And I'm a wife, I'm a mother of four wonderful children, daughter of immigrants from Mexico, and sister to two older individuals,
All right.
and granddaughter, I guess, and community member. So I participate in a little bit of everything that my family is involved in, whether it's school, the city that we live in, our church. So it's a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything. And I
Oh,
also kind of help give a voice and encourage those who feel like they are being unheard to be heard and to use their
okay.
voice.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about you. Maybe this question isn't asked enough of you because
Uh-oh.
when we're out in the community doing our
True.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Our ministry,
Yes.
that's all people know.
Yeah.
It's a,
Yeah.
oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to call Elena because she does XYZ. Oh, I'm going to call whoever because this is what I know that they can do and they can help you this way. Da, da. But Elena Luna Magallanes, where are you originally from? Or your family, your parents, de qué descendencia? What origin are you
So my
from?
family comes from Guanajuato, el estado de Guanajuato.
What?
I
Guanajuato.
know, right? You too.
Greetings to Guanajuato.
Yes, yes, yes. So they're originally from Guanajuato. They came over to the U.S. I want to say when my parents were teenagers, maybe 16, 18 years old. And my mother is actually going to be 70 later on this month. So they've been here most of their life. And so I am first generation. And then I have older children, of course, and so they've kind of continued to all reside here. I have a daughter who is in Indianapolis, one who's in South Bend, so a son who's in South Bend. So we kind of just carry the torch wherever God calls us, right? And we're still here in Indiana. So far so good. Can't complain. Can't
Amen
complain.
to that. So, what are the type of things that you, or tell us a little bit about your youth? How was Elena? How were you? What kind of child were you? Were you a
Oh, that's a
troublemaker? Were
deep
you,
question. That's a deep question.
I told you we're
That's a
going
deep
to
question. It's a little hot in here. Let's see. How was I as a child? I'm definitely not the person I am today, for sure, for sure. Definitely come from a humble background, for sure. Not really made of a lot of, didn't have a lot of opportunities young as a young child. And at a certain point in our life, we were actually homeless. And so I think as a direct result of how I had grown up, I really kind of use that to kind of spearhead a lot of the things that I participate in. God has truly blessed us with so much, and how can we not share? Just like we share His Word, how can we not share the information that we come across? Right? There's always going to be people in need, and so being able to know what the journey is for a lot of adults, I think as a child, it really kind of stemmed from being in that place. Um, so yeah, grew up on the south side of Chicago.
south side, as they
Yes,
say?
so good. So I was over there until about I was ready to enter high school, and then we moved on over to Indiana. We crossed the border again. We crossed the border, and since then it's been Indiana. It's been Indiana for sure, for sure.
Well, I think that you've probably made a mark here in Indiana, particularly in Northwest Indiana. And um, in growing up, what are the things that you like doing that possibly have something to do with why you do what you do now? Because sometimes, things happen to us, whether as a child or teenager or young adult, and now, well, it causes us, or we see things, we experience things, causes us to like what we do now. What are those things?
I think it came from a sense of possibly even feeling helpless as a child when things were going on around us, really kind of feeling like I didn't have a voice, and things were just happening around us as opposed to being intentional, right? So I think as I grew older, I sought information, I sought resources, even as a teenager, even as a teenager. And so once I entered adulthood, it was a lot. It was definitely chain breaking and cycle breaking, and really kind of being intentional with saying, okay, this is not where I want my life to go. Despite being a young mom and despite life happening, it was really all for purpose, for sure, for purpose. And so I was a part, like in high school, a bunch of the clubs and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I actually just saw my yearbook, my senior year yearbook thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember what some of these initials or acronyms stand for that I was a part of. But I was like, wow, look at me, I was in the play all 4 years. So definitely involved in my community, whether it was at school. And that was really my outlet, I think, once I got older. And so yeah, so stemming from not having certain things and not wanting life to be a certain way, I think it unintentionally, it really has been a part of my heart, for sure.
What would you say the major impact you had in your life that you see now that it was okay that that happened? Even though then we're like, oh my gosh, this is tragic. This is, what did you have that moment?
I don't think I've really connected those dots yet, in the sense that where they say hindsight is 2020. Like I can give you like examples of when like or aha moments where I'm like, okay, hindsight is 2020 in my role as a mom, in my role as a wife, you know. Um, but to kind of connect it all and just say, okay, this is my great purpose. I kind of just follow wherever God's calling me, right? And His will and His plans are greater
Right.
than whatever I could possibly think of, right? And so I definitely do believe that with every pain, there is a purpose. I may not understand it in the moment, and it definitely may be not easy, but it's definitely a learning opportunity, right? And so, um, for example, like my firstborn son, right? He was born a preemie, 26 weeks gestational, and so it really
Wow.
was eye opening at the age of 20 to have a newborn baby, and have to be in the hospital for so long, come home on oxygen, a heart monitor, so
Mhm.
all kinds of crazy things, right? So I jumped into nurse mode right off the bat, right? No time for I swear 20 and 21, I was like, they're like blurbs,
Right,
right?
right, right.
It's blurry, but it really has helped so many families. My journey as a young mom, especially with him, has really kind of opened the doors to help many others who've experienced that same journey, right? And by the same token, I look at my other three daughters and I look at all of the things that we've been a part of as a direct result of their upbringing. And I'm just like, wow, opportunities just left and right.
Wow.
Considering, I've got, like I said, a daughter who's a civil engineer, and my parents only have a sixth grade education. So it's just like, what a difference. What a difference.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and so definitely thankful and appreciative of all the opportunities that we've been able
Okay, I think
to
we're having a little
uh-oh, she's frozen.
don't know what is happening. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little technical difficulties here.
How about
Elena, we apologize. We had a little technical difficulty that just
oh,
glitched for a second. Um, but you were saying, in you being a very young mom, was that scary? I mean, I know you went through some struggles and challenges having a preemie. It's not easy having a baby at that age, let alone a
mhm,
preemie that was born before his time and
yeah,
had to come home with oxygen and things like that. How was that? I mean, you mentioned some things, but
yeah.
wow.
It was definitely a learning opportunity. At that time, I was still a full time college student, and I had two full time jobs at the university. So it was definitely slowing everything down for sure, for sure. Entering a whole new world that I'd never really been a part of, the medical field and the early intervention services, and let alone being a mom, right? So um, I actually jokingly said I think I was a nurse before I was a mom, um,
Right.
because of all of the training that was needed in order to be able to keep him able to breathe. Something as simple that we may take for granted, right? To simply take a breath or to eat, it was very challenging for him in the
Wow.
beginning, right? Um,
How was it to balance? I mean, here
Girl,
your
I'm
mom.
still trying to figure that out.
Wait, I'm still trying to balance. Is that what
I'm
you're saying?
still trying to figure that out. I don't have an answer for that. And that's okay.
So we're coming home with a newborn. I mean, mine was preemie as well, but
Mhm.
I was a little older. I was much older, I should say. But at
Mhm.
20, you're still learning about you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I jokingly say because we have four children, right? And so two are basically out of the house, right, so to speak. Still very much involved in their day-to-day stuff, but just different, right? Different. Um, at their age right now, I had already two children. And so I was like, you guys can do whatever you put your mind to.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
hard for me, but it wasn't impossible yet for me. And so it's still okay. I look at my two younger ones, one's getting ready to graduate high school, and one is entering her junior year. So I'm just like, now people ask me, well, what do you do for fun? I don't know yet.
Oh,
I
I can
don't
tell a
know
few things,
yet.
but I won't mention that. No.
I'm like,
Go
I
for a
don't know
walk.
that
How about
yet.
that, right?
Yeah, I don't know that yet.
So
Um,
I looked at you as a super mom, as a hero, and I'm sure you've been a hero to many people that you've touched lives that others do not know. Those that are watching here live, thank you for joining us. Um, that don't really know how you juggle and still be able to not lose it, right? Although sometimes we can be at borderline getting there, right? But there was something special about your son, which really, I mean, touches my heart. And I think that is one of the reasons you tell us here on this
mhm,
platform. This is your platform. This is telling us your story. This is the time that you share your story, Elenita,
mhm.
because I see you moving. I've worked with you for years. I lost count after 10. I don't know. And we're huge advocates of life. We're
Right,
huge advocates for our community. But
right.
your life was a little different because of your firstborn. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, like right off the bat, like I was going to school first and foremost to be an FBI agent. So I actually have a criminal justice degree. My first degree is in criminal justice. And so I was like, all right, here I go, watch out world, right? But surprisingly, my dad was not on board with me getting an education.
Mm,
Very traditional in the sense that, I needed to have a family first. I needed to go ahead and do all the traditional things. And so I was definitely a cycle breaker, like, sorry, sorry, gotta go. Right. And
right, right,
so
right.
as I started school and ended up having children while I was in school, I had to switch my gears. And originally I was like, okay, we'll switch into the legal side of it, right? So paralegal. So my second degree is in paralegal studies. And so um, as everything was going on with my family life, I really had to put that on the back burner in a sense, and jump into what my new role was in the moment, right? And so
Mm,
that was in my when I was 20, that was being a nurse. Like it was very difficult for the basics, breathing, eating for my son, right? And so then my daughter comes along, who's 11 months, 11 months. Yes, that's right, 11 months
wow.
younger um, than him, and it was an opportunity for me to embrace motherhood in a way that I couldn't do with my
Mm,
son, right? In a different way. Loved it both tremendously. Um, and then child number three came about, and also, again, more experience. And then there's a 6 year gap in between the two sets, right? But again, with my third daughter, I was like older, right? And so I was like, this is too easy. I'm having fun with this. Like
what?
it's so cool. Because with the first two, or at least the first one, going to the park was not something we could do um, without really struggling, right? And so, or without an entourage, like we would need someone to carry the oxygen tank, someone to carry the heart monitor, not to mention the baby in the car seat or the stroller. So it was like, it just wasn't easy. Um, but I definitely grew in that sense for sure. Um, because of my son, I was able to learn about early intervention services, and so that's where First Steps came about. That's where Healthy Families came about. That's where Parents as Teachers came about. And so diving into that world and looking to see how that would benefit not just my son, but all of my children,
Mm,
um, ended up gearing me into early intervention services. And so I started working for Mental Health America, in those same programs that benefited us that we were able to really take advantage of from within our community, um, which are all income based, right? And so we were able to really kind of get a jump ahead, right? In that sense. So a lot of the young moms that I met early on were really other people who were just like me, who were in those same roles, but maybe a couple years behind me. And so, um, and a lot of times it is challenging to talk to your own family about certain questions and not knowing certain
Right,
things. And how do you ask it if you don't know what you don't know? You just don't know
right.
what you know. And so, going into homes and talking to young moms and really educating them on the development of their children, um, and combining that with researching resources that they could need to also start taking a step ahead, right? And so that kind of jumped into getting involved in my kids' school and getting involved working in my kids' school. And then it led to community participation and joining boards and committees within the city that I live in. And so it just kind of grew in that capacity, in that sense, and in every aspect, really kind of just um, saying, I may not know the answers. I may not have lived experiences, but we'll be able to figure it out together. And I'll walk with you in that journey, meeting you wherever you're at. And
Right.
so we've helped families who are struggling with homelessness, who are struggling with addiction, who are struggling with mental health challenges, who are also, um, studying or having issues with getting a diagnosis, and so connecting them to resources, and not just in the Northwest, but throughout the entire state. So yeah, for
No,
sure. When there is purpose, it just shows, right?
that's
And
right. That's right.
purpose
So
just shows.
with your son, and I want to thank your husband. He's out there somewhere. Shout
Yeah,
out to him.
it's like, can you
I
hear
was
him?
hearing the noise somewhere. No. He had to have had patience as well,
Yeah,
knowing that you were
he
called
hasn't gone
to,
crazy yet.
right? Well, let's not say he's going to at all, ever.
Yeah, I don't speak that.
With
No, don't speak
patience
it.
is a virtue. I got
Hmm.
you, Jose. Patience is a virtue. But it takes a duo, it takes a spouse that's understanding that you have a call, a calling
Hmm.
based on the experiences you were having with your son.
Hmm.
And you're a mom of a child of special needs. If that's the way is that how you say it? I mean,
Yeah,
there's so
well,
many
I think
different ways of
I
people saying
kind
it
of look
nowadays.
at it. Yeah,
I
there are
know.
so many different ways. I
Yeah,
really kind of look at it like the reality is that all of my children are unique individuals,
for
right?
sure.
Uniquely
For
and
sure.
wonderfully made. And
Amen.
so because of that, when we say disabilities or special needs, well, all my kids have special needs. You know what I mean? I'm the mom. I think they're all special and they all have different needs because they're all different
That is so true.
individuals.
That is
Um,
so true. Y'all heard that. See, so let's be politically correct because that's the way I've been hearing it. When you go to
yeah,
court, you have a child with special needs. Okay, so we all have special needs, adults too,
right.
right?
Yeah,
But
everybody's got something that
some have more challenges than others,
oh,
right?
without a doubt. There's definitely different levels, for sure, for sure. Um,
So, I mean, I want to say kudos to you before you get into diving into
mhm,
that section because it takes a heart, compassion,
thank you.
passion,
Mhm.
patience, understanding, and know when to fold them. At least I think you do
Oh yeah.
because of the hats that you wear. And I can relate to some of those.
Hmm.
But it all revolves around how can I help someone out?
Yeah.
Not just how can I get the resources for me, but
Hmm.
now that I know what they are, I have to share it with someone else
Hmm.
that is in need of all these resources. So kudos to you because you
Thank
are one that will die empty because what you know you share. And
you.
there's a lot of people that what
Hmm.
they know they won't share. And that's not good. So I just wanted to say that, and I want to say that I'm grateful for you.
Thank you.
If you are not hearing it enough, I want to say this from me to you. You're like my little sister. And
Oh,
no, people, I'm going to say this again. I didn't bring her on the show because we're very close. Is the fact that people need to know who this young lady is and to know the beautiful heart. I'm going to start crying here. And to know the beautiful heart that she has.
thank
Whew,
you.
I wasn't waiting. I wasn't expecting this. I don't
I
get
know, it's so
I don't
sweet.
get like this live.
No se vale chillar. No se vale
That was the
chillar.
Holy Spirit moment here, okay? Because I know her heart, because our hearts beat the same rhythm when it comes to helping somebody out. And we don't look at, well, I still got to do this. How am I going to do that? We just jump in it. And I don't want to speak for you, Elenita, but this is what I see from you.
Oh,
We talk regularly, and so we kind of follow up on things where we are in our world today, and who are we helping, and how are we helping, or how can you help, Elenita? Or and that's how it started, right? Hey,
that's
Elenita, I have
exactly
a
how it
family.
started. That is exactly how it started. That is
I have a
exactly how it
family that
started.
needs this resource, and I know you can do it, and I know you got the connection. So this is how we
Right.
started, and still to today, I
Still
lost count
today.
after 10 years.
Girl, yesterday, yesterday it was like,
Right,
"Eve."
right. And so, and
Mhm.
this is what we're supposed to do: lift each
Mhm.
other up, help
Yeah.
each other out, share the love that we have for people with ourselves and with each other, and know that we're here for a purpose. And you keep saying that, Elena, and that is so true. There's pain with a purpose, and there's a purpose why we're here. The existence that we're here, we're not just here because,
Mm-mm.
you
No,
know.
I'm a true believer that things happen for a reason, and it's always going to be for the greater good. And I may not understand it. I may never understand it. Um, and
And
when
we're
they
not
say,
meant to
"Oh,
really try to understand it, you know.
no, we're not. We're
What do they
not. We're
say?
not.
It is what it
We
is, but
don't
then I
lean on
change
our
it.
own understanding, like, right? We don't lean on
Exactly.
our own understanding. I think it is really crucial though to embrace the fact that sometimes um, the things that are not so nice that happen gives us an opportunity to really appreciate the good when it's there, right? And
Amen.
so,
Yeah, and there's a
um,
lot of those, right, that we can share. A
yeah,
lot of not so
yeah,
nice moments, whether it's with family, whether
yeah,
it's with
sure.
another family, or even in
Mhm.
an organization that we have to deal with, that we have so many different personalities, so many different attitudes.
Yeah,
And when
for
I
sure.
mean attitudes, when you're dealing with families that have, I don't even like using the word disabilities because I want to remove the label,
Mhm.
disable the label, but
Yeah, for sure,
that
for
that
sure.
happen. Well, I'll be
Just
specific.
challenges.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
they have
challenges.
autism or they have Down
Mhm.
syndrome.
Right, right,
Those are
right.
sometimes hard to understand. And so I give you kudos
Mhm.
for being able to do that, to being able to understand a family that has autistic kids. You know the way, you walk it, you just don't talk it. You're being about it, you're not just saying it, to know. So I believe that God allows things to happen, even with our own children, to know the path He wants us to go,
Mhm.
right?
For sure, for
So
sure.
guys, those of you that are here listening, she is the Shero for today because she's a
Oh, you were
she
too
and she's
kind.
a
Too kind.
hero. And
Sorry.
I love her dearly. And I just had to bring her to the light because there's a lot of unsung heroes. And we don't bring them out to light enough for others to know all the beautiful things that they're doing in the community to make a difference. And Elena is not just the one that says, I want a difference to make a difference, but she's being that, making a difference. She's being about it, and she doesn't just want to say it; she is part of that. And what organizations are you currently participating
Ooh.
in?
All right, so let's see.
A through C, right?
Gotta get my head on. Gotta get my head on. So I technically work for the Autism Society of Indiana. We cover the entire state, all 92 counties, but I help support the Northwest region, and so I'm the assistant manager there. I sit on the Hammond Mayor's Commission on Disabilities as well. I sit on the Diocese of Gary on the Bishops Pastoral Council, and then I also sit on the St. Casimir Pastoral Council. My friend Mello would like to say hi.
Mello wants to say hello. Hello. They call me Mello
Oh,
Yellow.
he cannot. He is
Hello.
not gonna leave us alone. Say hello.
Hi. Okay. So that's another child you have there.
That's
Okay.
another one. And I'm also really involved in my children's school, so I sit on some of the stuff that they've got going on there.
You're a sports mom, I see.
I am. We do marching band, we do soccer, we do tennis,
You're a soccer
a
mom,
little bit
tennis mom. Oh my God.
everything. It's a little bit of everything. And then I'm also really involved with a lot of the stuff like my parents are doing. So definitely full-time caregiver all across the board. Getting ready to, I tell my husband jokingly, you got to get ready. We're going to have a midlife crisis. It's going to happen.
You know what? Your midlife crisis is not going to feel like a crisis, and we're just speaking
It's
that.
not. It is
I don't
not.
know what that's called. I'm 55, going on 56, and I don't think I've ever had it, and I'm not speaking it over
It may
me.
have happened already, and I don't know it. I don't know.
Who knows? It could have been the day that you were crying all day, and that's that.
Yes,
Didn't know
that's
why.
it. Ya
Okay, there
pasó.
you go. Okay, done. I'm done. Phew. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
No, but we really have been blessed to be able to touch a lot of different areas with that we've been a part of. And so um I know God's not done with us yet. We're still here. So we figure out donde
Amen.
nos lleva. Donde nos
Yeah.
lleva. I'm also jumping on this lovely new adventure. I found this great resource. I know you guys,
Woo!
we're almost time's almost up. It's called X39. Oh my God. Literally, God.
Have you been patched?
I have been patched. Have you been patched in?
Oh, patch every day. So you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this. If you don't mind, we'll just extend it extra. I know that this show originally was meant for an hour, but I'm cutting them down to 30 minutes because people's attention spans, unless my shows, I got to make them very creative and very good and juicy for you all to learn something. It's all about learning. It's never about losing. It's never about being the victim. It's about being the victor and always winning, right? And
Amen.
learning. And so tell us about your testimonial. I haven't heard it. I mean,
Oh
we
my
just said,
goodness.
you just said, I just got to tell you. And then there goes that. So
I
now
just had to wait to
publicly,
tell you. I
can
just had
you
to wait
tell
to
me
tell you.
about your experience?
Yes, no. Okay, so this wonderful little patch has really been, I don't want to say life changing. It's been life enhancing. It's been life enhancing. And so it really has kind of eased that transition. You know how we were talking about different phases of life. And so I'm entering my senora era. And
I don't know
so
what that is, so you mind telling me?
I'll tell you. It's where your hormones go all berserks. And so definitely went in on the medical side and started talking to my doctor. And of course, um, their response to a lot of different things are here, go ahead, take this medication. And so I started taking some medication that were really like out of whack. It really messed with my mind,
Instead of
right?
helping you, right?
Instead of helping me, right? It's totally messed with my mind. And so I knew that that was not who I was as a person. So to have those thoughts was really concerning for me. And so while we figured out what was a good mix or whatever, that's when I got patched in. And
Hey.
so as I got patched in, and you guys can ask Miss E.V.E what the patch is, um, as soon as I got patched in, within the first couple weeks, well, that first week I got some blood work done. And so um, as I started continuously wearing the patch, um, I followed up maybe about a month later, a month and a half later with some more blood work. I even talked to my physician, showed them the patch, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna just have to, since you're starting the patch, we'll go ahead and lower this so that you can transition into coming off of it because that's what has occurred with others who have been patched in." And so I was like, "Okay, that works, that works." And so actually, as of last week, no more hormones, just the patch.
Did this doctor
However,
know what this patch was all about? Because it's non-transdermal,
it's
no medicine.
yes, there's no medicine on it. And so she was actually really familiar with it already because apparently,
Shockingly, that's
yes.
great.
And she said, you know, of course, every individual is going to have a different reaction or whatever. But the simple fact that it enhances what already your body does naturally was a big eye opener for me because I didn't actually expect. I was a little bit of a skeptic, you know, a little bit of a skeptic. But then I saw my mom and how she
Oh,
was
I saw her the way she said
having
it.
an impact. We got my mom patched in, like, and she's like in her almost 70. So we are definitely, it's just a great endeavor. It's just like you said, when something good happens and you come across it, it's just like evangelization, but on a different subject. Like you just can't not share it, right? And so, just like a resource, this is also one of those tools that you can put in your tool belt for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Everyone should be patched. You're like, what is it? What is it? Well, I did a live last week, I think, with
Mhm,
the person responsible for letting me know about this patch since Elena brought it up because
mhm,
it's about her, what she's doing,
mhm.
and how it's changing. Speaking about, how was your sleep?
I hadn't slept so deep. Okay, so my son was preemie, so he's now 25. He's my oldest, and since his pregnancy, I always wake up. I shouldn't say always, regularly wake up around between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, even if it's just to get up to go to the bathroom, ever since that pregnancy. And so I had originally thought, oh, that's just because, my body was preparing for motherhood and the kids are going to go ahead and wake up at all hours of the night. I'm not going to be able to sleep or whatever. But um, I don't think I had had such a restful night's sleep like I did that first week. I still don't get up anymore. Like I'm not waking up in the middle of the night. Um, Never really had to take anything for it, or it wasn't like that impactful within my lifestyle. But it was to the point where I definitely noticed, like, whoa, I'm not waking up anymore. I'm not waking up anymore. So this is restful,
Wonderful.
deep. I actually
Wonderful.
go through my different sleep cycles, kind of sleep. So,
Yeah, and we need it. For someone that's always on the go, 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 we need it. We don't want to be forced to stop because of
right.
an illness.
Right, right, for sure, for sure. And so even to this day, my husband's like, "Aren't you gonna wake up?" I'm like, "Yeah, when it's time."
When it's
It's
time,
not
right? I'm feeling that when I wake up, I'm not like, oh, like the commercials, time to make the donuts. I
no,
gotta get up,
no,
but I
you
don't
wake up
want to.
refreshed, like you feel
Right?
rested.
I thought it was just me. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
glad you said it.
no, you like feel rested. Like it's not, it's just different. It's just totally life enhancing for sure.
What a blessing. What a blessing. And so
Mhm.
Elena is a blessing in the community to
Thank you.
those in need. She's helped many families. She's not out there, look at me, look at what I would do. And no, she is out. Look at what God is doing. And
Amen,
that's what we need
amen.
to do. Look at what God is doing, not look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at
Mhm,
who I'm helping.
mhm.
She doesn't do that. And I'm not knocking any of you that are putting it out there, but you can't tell the left hand what the right hand is saying or doing. It says it in the Bible.
True.
um, and so I thank her for what she does. And the reason why I know is because I'm involved in sending her families in time of need, whether they're Spanish speaking and English speaking. And
Mhm,
fortunate enough, she is the only Spanish speaking, but fortunate enough that there's families that now I can send to someone,
mhm.
right? And that's how it started years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I thank you, Elena, once again. For
Oh,
those of
thank
you that
you.
are chiming in, this is the Face of a Hero show, and Elena Luna Magallanes is my Shero for today, to hear about her
Thank
story,
you.
her testimony, and the things that she had to endure and persevere, but still pushing forward and still out there making a difference. It's not just I want to see a difference, but I don't want to be part of it. No,
No,
no.
it's definitely solution based for sure, for sure. And thank you so much. And in all honesty, I really feel like um, I was just on a conversation with you, not even like on a podcast right now. So
As
you
it's
just
supposed
brought
to
me back.
be. I just make it
Yes,
so like easy. People
you
get
just
all
brought me
nervous
back.
and stuff. No,
I was
I'm
like,
like,
you just
don't
brought
pay
me back.
attention to what's on the stage and who's watching. Just pay attention
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
conversation you're having for it to flow good.
Right.
And I just felt in my heart and my spirit that I said, no, I need to get you. And thank you for making the time. And thank you, Jose, if you're still around,
No,
for
he stepped out. He
sharing
goes.
your time with
Thank
sharing
you.
her with us.
Yes,
Actually.
thank you for having
Yeah,
me. I
and
really
there's a lot more to learn. So thank you once again. Is there anything that you want to last share here the next couple minutes?
Yes, if you are seeking any kind of support, whether it be with an autism diagnosis or whatever, you can reach me on the Autism Society of Indiana website. Feel free to check me out there. You can also, um, actually, you can Google me. I just found that out. So you can Google me. You'll find me.
Woo!
You'll find me. You can find me.
Says it
Just
humbly too, okay? Because I
yeah,
know the feeling.
yeah. I didn't realize I was Googleable.
Well, when you do a lot,
Yeah.
and you're consistent,
Hmm.
Google wakes up and said, let me tell people
Yeah.
about
Yeah. It
it,
could just be my husband who was looking me up and it just brought me to the top of the page.
right?
Well, look at Sarah, you could find me.
How about that? How about that? How about that? So thank you for all that you do,
Thank you.
and letting us go into your world today about learn about you. And so keep up the great work. We thank you. We love you.
Thank
And
you.
it's just
Thank you.
awesome saying it. You're my little sis.
Oh, thank you. I
Love you.
totally
Love you.
love
Love
you.
you.
Thank you so much for lighting the way for all of us. Que todos seguimos after you. You
Oh,
definitely were a huge trendsetter in our community and still are. You still are
oh.
paving the way for all of us to be able to have that comfort
And
in
now
being
you're
a
gonna make
leader.
me cry.
Yes, Avis. Yes, Avis. To God be the glory. To God be the
Amen.
glory.
He gets all the glory, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So thank you guys for watching here on the Face of a Hero. Elena, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you off the behind the scenes and no te me vayas, so just hang in there. Thank you once again for coming on, Elena.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless. Buenas noches.
So you guys heard it. I mean, I didn't have to say what somebody else is doing or saying. I'd rather hear it from the person's mouth and you hear it with your own ears coming from the person that's doing it, not just talking about it, but being about it. And if you know of another hero out there that you'd like to bring on this platform, please reach out to me. You know how to reach me, DM me, message me. I'm easy to be found, unfortunately, and fortunately for those that are in need. And let's continue to pave the way for others. I'm always here to help improve the quality of education and most of all, the quality of life. With that, guys, I'm going to go. We extended this a little longer, but our shows will be now 30 minutes long just so that we can get as much in as quick in and out because you guys are all busy. You're probably having dinner with your family, your loved ones. But thank you for stopping through here and watching this show. Please share, 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 because there's always something learning, a learning method about what somebody else is doing. So we're always learning. We never stop growing. I mean, stop growing, right? Leaders never stop growing, and leaders always lead in the righteous way with the right leaders. All right. So with that, I got to get out of here. So thank you for being here. Have a wonderful, blessed night. And until next time, remember the face of a hero every Thursday at 8 p.m. And guess what other show? You remember? The Face of a Hero is Thursdays at 8 p.m., but Real Talk with E.V.E. Sundays at 8 p.m. With that, I got to get going. So I'll talk to you later. Take care. Be blessed.